welcome back to RTN Tonight, Glassboro's favorite mid-afternoon late-night talk show. I'm Parker Bennick.
And I'm Caitlin Kowalski. As always, we've got a great show today, so let's get started with the news.
Padres pitcher Joe Musgrove recently celebrated his 30th birthday in a very unique way by traveling to Antarctica. The purpose of this trip was to set the record for the fastest pitch ever thrown on the continent. And after a few warm-ups, that's what Musgrove did, throwing an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. The previous record was, well, I don't know. If you're looking through my search history and you see how fast can a penguin throw a fastball, this is why.
Just in time for the holiday season, some trees this season seem to have a little more than just a fresh pine scent. The pine cones that look normal may very well just be something far more gruesome: praying mantis eggs. These insidious-looking lumps are actually praying mantis eggs, and if you don't get rid of them in a safe way, you could end up with green insects all over your home for the holidays. I'm all for one for a green Christmas and some extra good luck, but if one of them come near me, it won't be an oh-so-good New Year.
A Washington State Patrol trooper recently issued an expensive ticket to a driver for an interesting reason. The driver was charged $533 for driving more than 5 miles with their vehicle almost completely covered in snow, including the windshield. Obviously, this is very unsafe and shouldn't ever be attempted. However, this person clearly has a distinguished set of talents. Driving 5 miles blind without causing any injuries is insane. So should this person be punished for having X-ray vision? That's a different discussion that I'm not ready to have.
If you're thinking about being a Grinch this season, you might want to think twice or you might wind up jobless. Binman Calum Woodhouse went viral January 2021 for kicking 3-year-old Joseph Tyler's snowman while emptying out his family's bins. Coming in now at almost 2 years since then, Calum has said getting caught did mess me over big time, and that he hasn't been able to land a full-time job since then. Well, we can only wish Binman Woodhouse the best at this point. And be careful what 3-year-old you want to mess with.
New York City is looking for a rat czar to handle the infestation, which will keep going as long as 1 + 1 = 2. The job listing is officially titled as Director of Rodent Mitigation, and it has a 6-figure salary, which is 6 figures more than we make here at RTN. Seriously, the rat problem in NYC is so bad, I'm starting to think that the only way it can go away is if I tell a funny joke. And we all know what that means.
This past Sunday, bidders seem to have found the best ancient artifact: Steve Jobs' worn-out Birkenstocks. The Apple icon shoes sold for $218,750 at an auction in New York City. The brown Arizonas worn by Jobs in 1970s and the 1980s during, quote, many pivotal moments in Apple's history. It's now the highest known paid price for a pair of sandals at an auction. But the most pressing question at the auction is, do they smell? And bidder, whose name did not want to be disclosed, said, yes, of success.
Recently, an argument between 2 men at a golf match led one golfer to bite off the other's nose. Mark Wells, 51, fled the scene in a Tesla before eventually turning himself into St. Louis police. Obviously, this man is a monster and he should be punished to the full extent of the law. But he did make one major accomplishment: finding a way to make golf interesting, and I think that deserves some level of commendation.
Believe it or not, the iconic museum on the Atlantic City, New Jersey boardwalk is to close soon. The Ripley's Believe It or Not said Thursday that they will close on December 31st after 26 years of tempting boardwalk strollers into mind illusion. Museum owners say they are closing because the renovations are set to make something new and bright for the future. Considering I'm from South Jersey and live close to Atlantic City and I've never heard of this, I guess I can say I'm glad it's gone, or that I live under a rock. We're now going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Parker is going to interview an RTF student about their musical talent, so stick around.
Welcome back to RTN Tonight. Once again, I'm Parker Bennick, and tonight I'm joined by our very special guest, Dominic Diaz, here in the studio. So Dominic, first things first, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good myself. Thank you for asking, actually.
Good to hear.
Before we get into the interview, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm born and raised New Jersey. I'm interested in all sorts of things: film, music, graphic design, anything creative, really. 21 years old, I'm still going strong, and that's pretty much what I'm all about.
Awesome. And it's my understanding that you're a musician. So
Yeah.
I wanted to start by asking what got you into making music?
A couple different things. So my brother, or just a lot of my family in general, was just really like musically talented. My brother has been in all sorts of bands, like just growing up his entire life, probably like 3 or 4 different ones. My dad was a producer at some point. Still like, into it a little bit, but I think I just kind of picked up on like, family, talent and tradition.
Cool. And then the next question is like, who are some people in music that you look up to, and then who are some of your inspirations?
I think Kendrick Lamar is a big one. Just in general, there's like a lot of different bands too. Bring Me the Horizon. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a new band, Coletta. I'm not sure if you know what Coletta is.
I haven't, but I've heard of Bring Me the Horizon.
Only one album, one EP on there. But just like even like artists that are still coming out today, I'm inspired by like so many different things, so many different people. Even people who are not artists, different actors. Like I like the way like Dave Chappelle, for example, carries himself. Like within this comedy, he's always carrying this message of like his truth, and like through my music, I want to express my truth.
Awesome, yeah. And then so everyone has their story when they're first like starting making music. So what was like the process like for you when you first started, right at the beginning?
So it was just a lot of like really like writing intensive. I was always like pretty good at just writing in general. I think the biggest thing for me, like with the writing, is just trying to be like kind of different. So it was like this huge like hump of like, how can I make what I'm saying and what I'm doing, stand out? How can I make it unique? And I didn't really like, I wasn't really recording too much too. So like I didn't really know like how what I was writing would sound at all.
Right.
So it was just like kind of challenging, like to put it down, because I just like it's totally different when you record it versus like when you say it out loud. So it was just like coming to this like revelation that I might have to like change things up for the first time was just like whoa, like blew my mind.
Yeah. And then next question: what type of genre would you place your music in?
I'd say hip hop, alternative, like rap, stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah,
and
along
then,
those lines.
do you have anything coming soon that you would want to promote?
So I have this song called "Change the World" coming out soon, or "I'd Love to Change the World." It's exactly how it sounds. A lot of lyrics are just like based on like just how some people just kind of just live to watch other people not succeed, live to watch the world burn down. And it's kind of just like my whole feeling on that, and just like how to kind of power through and distance yourself from people like that.
Awesome. Best of luck to you, and I love your glasses, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So thank you once again for coming on the show, Dominic. And if you want to
problem.
learn more about Dominic or his music, you can follow his Instagram at Dom New Jersey and his Spotify, DomNJ. And when we come back, Dominic's going to play the classic RTN Tonight game segment, No Cap, and you definitely won't want to miss it. So thanks for tuning in.
Hello and welcome back to RTN Tonight. As you know, I'm Caitlin Kowalski and I'm joined by our wonderful guest of the night, Dominic Diaz. Dominic is now here to join me in RTN Tonight's game of No Cap. To give you a recap of the game, a timer will start when I ask the first question. From there, you will have to answer the 20 opinionated questions as fast as possible. After that, we will match your time with next week's guest and see which guest went faster. Dominic, are you ready to play No Cap?
Yep.
All right, and with that, I'm going to start the timer in 3, 2, 1. If you had to lose one of your 5 senses, what would it be?
Smell.
Favorite Christmas movie?
Christmas Story.
Can you jump as high as a gorilla?
Probably not.
How many winter coats do you think you could put on at once?
30.
What's your opinion on the Grinch?
The Grinch. Pretty good guy.
How many toothbrushes do you own?
3.
Have you made your Christmas list for Santa?
No.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Favorite reindeer?
Rudolph.
What's up with Taco Bell? Did Grandma get run over by a reindeer?
Yes.
Should animals be allowed to drive Teslas?
Yes.
If you were stuck in a mirror maze, would you start breaking the mirrors?
Yes.
Is the movie Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween or a Christmas movie?
Both.
How far can you throw an elf?
Pretty far.
Thoughts on eggnog?
Great.
Do you give carrots or apples to the reindeer?
Carrots.
Who'd win in a fight, the Grinch or Santa?
The Grinch.
Do you think you can fit down a chimney?
Yes.
Are you naughty or nice?
Naughty.
All right, and with that, you came in a time of 1 minute and 1 second. Great job, and thank you so much for coming today.
No
You
problem.
did a wonderful job, and we will see if you can beat next week's guest.
Hopefully.
And with that, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for tuning in to RTN Tonight. I'm Caitlin Kowalski. Have a great night, Glassboro.